CQDX 629 Pennsylvania, we're standing by.
Hello, 629 Pennsylvania. This is 114 in Kenwood, Louisiana. You came in there loud and clear down here with 5 over.
And thanks for the flowers, brother. Yeah, running in a Linko SR8T with the Hio PR781. Running through a little mixing board. Back to you, brother. Yeah, roger that. Yeah, we got an 899 up on the roof and a good old shot of LMR 400 low loss coax. Yeah, Skip's been going pretty good for the past week. Usually starts on 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and it goes pretty much in the morning. She comes on till about 1 in the afternoon. It gets like a herd of bumblebees out there. Ha ha ha. How about it, Skipland? How about it, Skipland? 629. 629, Pennsylvania, we're trying. How about it, Skipland? How about it, Skipland? 629. 629, Pennsylvania, we're trying. One, we're into a little mixing board. CQDX 629 Pennsylvania, we're standing by.
Hello, 629 Pennsylvania. This is 114 in Kenwood, Louisiana. You came in there loud and clear down here with 5 over.
And thanks for the flowers, brother. Yeah, running in a Linko SR8T with the Hio PR781. Running through a little mixing board. 629 Pennsylvania, we're trying. Thanks for the flowers, brother. Yeah, running in a Linko SR8T with the Hio PR781. Running through a little mixing board. 629 Pennsylvania, we're trying. CQDX 629 Pennsylvania, we're standing by. CQDX 629. 629, Pennsylvania, we're standing by. How about it, skip land? How about it, skip land? 629. 629 up here in the Keystone State, standing by. CQDX, 629. 629, Pennsylvania, standing by. How about it, skip land? How about it, skip land? 629, Pennsylvania, standing by. CQDX, 629, Pennsylvania, standing by.
Uncertainty. Maxine Waters should have been jailed for what she did with Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac. And the one who worked with her.
Post the footage. You pull it up into the beat. It's like 15 minutes on the beat.
So where'd the other three go?
CQDX, 629, Pennsylvania, we're trying. us too?
Oh. So I don't have time. I have to come back and eat. I wonder if I can get on time.
Well, there's no forks in the house. Started always trying to grab 2 packs of forks against the wall. To run against the wall. How about you 1122? How about you 1122? 629 Pennsylvania, standing by.
629 out there in Pennsylvania. You are making it down, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I guess the big dogs haven't hit yet. I hear you loud and proud up here in Pennsylvania, sounding good. Good audio.
Roger that, 629. Well, tip and a half right back at you, sir.
I got you running live on YouTube.
Man, I got west side, east side, north up near Canada, all the way down to the Caribbean in my speakers. So good evening to you.
All right, 112273s. I'll let you go. Back on this side. 629 Pennsylvania. Set it.
Roger that, 629, 1122. Waiting on radio out here.
Alright, making a place with the fucking forks. Like, that's really tough. We had all been yesterday, now they're gone.
We're on YouTube live in audio, so I'm just saying. We got to record everything I try to do.
Why should I take her in the house because you're here? So, yeah, take her in the fucking house.
Because it's your mouth. Shut the fuck up. Me. How about it, Skip Land? How about it, Skip Land? 629 Pennsylvania. We're standing by. Go ahead, audio check. Go ahead, audio check. 629 Pennsylvania. We heard it.
386, Central Arkansas,
I heard a Florida standing by. I heard a Florida standing by. 629 Pennsylvania. We heard you. Roger on the 386. Roger on the 386. 629 Pennsylvania. We got you.
Pennsylvania, my friend. Must have company in my repeater station. 386, I'm
Yes, Operator John, you got Operator Dave, Delta Alpha, Victor Echo, 629 Pennsylvania. Yeah, 90 degrees up here. Feels like Florida up here in Pennsylvania today. CQDX 629, Pennsylvania, standing by.
Sign and all related matters.
John Roberts is standing by with some bringing information. Let's go there. Hey, John.
Hey, Martha, I was just talking to some senior administration officials about how this all went down. Apparently, when they got word that this was coming down from the DOJ, his entire senior staff team went into the Oval Office with the president. And that included the vice president, the chief of staff, of course, Kellyanne Conway, Hope Hicks, all of the senior staff, Don McGahn, who is the White House counsel, and they presented it to him saying the decision has been made that Rosenstein is going to appoint a special prosecutor. The president, I'm told, was very measured in his reaction to it. He said, okay, that's the card that we've been dealt. Let's move on. Now, in terms of analysis on all this, the White House staff is looking at this as an opportunity to kind of clear the decks of a lot of the criticism that has been coming down from Capitol Hill in recent days, weeks, in fact, and be able to kind of pull the team back together again instead of it being splintered in so many different directions, and really focus on the president's agenda. So while there is the danger always when you appoint a special prosecutor that this could go down a lot of different roads, the team here at the White House at the moment, including the president, feels this is giving them an opportunity to focus on the future as opposed to trying to relitigate everything that's happened over the last few months now.
John, White House, as all of this has transpired, once again, 3 nights in a row, a lot of breaking news for that White House to deal with. And if indeed it becomes a moment, as we talked about here tonight, for them to exhale a little bit, try to get focused on their agenda, knowing that Robert Mueller, who at this moment has a lot of wide bipartisan support to take this under his wing, is now going to do just that. He said that he will accept this responsibility in his statement, and that's exactly what he will have to do. So thank you very much for being with us tonight as we have covered all of this breaking news. It has been a busy evening, and there's a lot more to come tonight because Tucker Carlson is going to speak with Jason Chaffetz in the Oversight Committee, and Kellyanne Conway, who will have the first live statement from the White House as Tucker gets started moments away. Have a good night.
Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. A little over 2 hours ago, the Justice Department announced the appointment of a special counsel to oversee the FBI's now famous Russia investigation. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has already recused himself from the matter, so from here on out, the entire thing will be led by former FBI Director Robert Mueller. Now, someone who knows a lot about both Bob Mueller and the history of special counsel investigations summed it up this way. Bad idea, good choice. Now, first to the choice. Mueller is an adult, not just because he's a 72-year-old former Marine who earned a Bronze Star leading a rifle platoon in Vietnam. Mueller has nothing to prove, and that may be the most important quality in someone with the nearly unchecked power of a special counsel. Mueller has already overseen complex criminal prosecutions. He's run the FBI. He's served under both Republicans and Democrats. He's earned a reputation for rectitude. He doesn't, in other words, need to make a name for himself. He's got one already. If there isn't a crime at the bottom of all of this, he's unlikely to manufacture one in order to save face, as so many other prosecutors are tempted to do. Mueller, in other words, is about as impressive a choice as the Justice Department could have made. Now to the second and maybe bigger question of whether a special counsel itself is a good idea. Democrats in Congress have been loudly demanding one for a long time now, so has their farm team at the news networks. So what? Those same groups are also demanding open borders and transgender bathrooms in elementary schools. Not everything the mob wants is wise. And in this case, it could prove especially unwise, at least to the Trump people, as these kinds of investigations have a way of expanding far beyond their original charter and consuming entire presidencies. Ask anyone who worked for Ronald Reagan or Bill Clinton during their second terms how that worked out. This is a dangerous move for the Trump administration. There's at least one upside, though. Maybe Democrats will finally stop posturing, if only for a second. They called for an independent investigation, and they got one, courtesy of an administration they've repeatedly accused of being fascist. And for the record, by the way, Mussolini would never have appointed a special counsel. So what is their play now going forward? Trump can't really be impeached at this stage. How could the president go on trial in Congress before the independent investigation is even complete? Someone had better tell Maxine Waters that her dream has just died. Unless, of course, and this could happen, Robert Mueller is himself part of the conspiracy, yet another agent of the Kremlin working secretly at the highest levels of our government to undermine democracy from within. Could it be that Vladimir Putin controls every single person involved in this, from the investigator to the investigated? Is the conspiracy that deep? Now, if those questions seem insane to you, you have not been paying attention to Congress or the other news channels lately. Already tonight, Nancy Pelosi has issued a statement saying that Robert Mueller is not, quote, truly independent, though she didn't explain exactly how he wasn't truly independent. We know this: God help Robert Mueller if he's ever vacationed in Moscow or has knowingly eaten caviar, he could find himself at the center of his own investigation. We'll keep you posted. Well, for analysis on what exactly is happening in Washington right now, we're joined tonight by Congressman Jason Chaffetz of Utah. Congressman, thanks a lot for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So you heard Nancy Pelosi, the longtime Democratic leader in the House, describe Robert Mueller as not truly independent. Do you think he's truly independent?
He's as good as it gets. I mean, his credentials are impeccable. He served in the Bush administration, the Obama administration. No, he is unassailable in terms of his credentials, his background, and I think your point is well taken. He's in the latter part of his career. He has nothing to prove. He's been silent politically. It doesn't get any better than Robert Mueller if you're going to do it. I also agree that I don't think they should have actually appointed somebody.
Why did they?
I think they're feeling the political heat. Maybe they're watching a little too much television and reading too many newspapers and whatnot. But look, I have not seen any evidence of actual collusion. Where is the actual crime that they think they need a special prosecutor to prosecute? I haven't seen that. There's been a lot of flailing, but that flailing started before January 20th.
Did you expect this?
I'm very surprised by it. No heads up. I don't think the Speaker's office got a heads up, and I at least read online that the White House only got about 30 minutes heads up. So no, it caught us totally out of the blue.
We're supposed to have someone from the White House on tonight on another topic, and that person canceled at the last minute, and I called over to find out why, and the explanation, I think it was sincere, was we had no idea this was happening. We're trying to figure out how to respond to it. Now, you've seen other special counsel, special prosecutor investigations go far afield from where they started, and really to tie up an entire presidency. It happened to President Reagan, happened to famously President Clinton. Is that a concern here?
Well, nobody knows what the lanes of this special counsel are going to be, and my understanding from our counsel within the committee, they don't even need to publish that. They don't even need to share that with Congress. They have such wide latitude to go wherever they want to go, so I don't know what lane that he's going to be in, other than I have a great deal of trust that Director Mueller has the discipline to hopefully stay within the lanes, but I don't know what those lanes are.
So, and by lanes, you mean you're not exactly sure what the investigation is about? Because I'll concede, despite the fact we do this every single lane, I'm not exactly sure what the investigation is about either. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so, yeah, is it about, number one, is it about, it appears to be about Russian influence on the election, and then was there any collusion? But does that seep out, and at what point does that flood off? You know, for instance, the Oversight Committee, we're interested in were they potentially these so-called Comey memos or letters, and we have invited, we're trying to invite, I should say, Director Comey to come testify. Let's hear him out. But does it involve that? I don't know. I physically don't know exactly where those lanes are.
I don't either. And we likely won't find out for some time. Is that your understanding? I mean, I don't expect that Mueller's going to be giving weekly updates on what he's looking into or finding, correct?
No, part of the challenge here is that I think he will lean on the Department of Justice and the FBI, what they've done to date, given that he used to lead that group for 10 years. And so he gets a little bit of a head start, but this could go on for years. And there could be long periods of just silence. And what I worry is that the Democrats are going to politically exploit this on a daily drumbeat, making up theories, making up stories, you know, trying to get somebody to grab onto a piece of meat and say, oh, this is true.
Best interest of the country at heart. He will not make statements, and he won't allow information to leak from this investigation. It doesn't serve anybody. It certainly doesn't serve the rest of the country. So back to something you said a second ago about trying to get former Director Comey over to the Congress to answer questions. Why would that be difficult?
We just issued a letter last night to the Department of Justice. I'm not even sure that these memos exist. I don't even know that they're real.
These memos that they reportedly took along the way over his years as FBI director.
Yes.
And so first, why do you doubt their existence?
Well, I just don't know. I mean, even the reporter who wrote the story had not physically seen them himself. And so, you know, I think it's worthy of investigation. I do think we should pursue it. But I'm also not presupposing the outcome, and I don't even know that they exist and where they exist. Now, we've asked the Department of Justice for these documents, but I don't know if they have them or not. We gave them a week to find them and provide them, and I've said if need be, I'll subpoena them, although I think the Department of Justice will be cooperative. But maybe Director Comey has them himself. I don't know. You can't run an investigation on anonymous sources in the New York Times. That's not conclusive evidence.
So the news story that kicked off this story, which is the biggest story in the world, as you know, suggested that Director Comey had written these memos, I think it used the verb write, and that he had showed them to his colleagues, that he passed them around internally. And that he had done so on a bunch of different occasions going back a while. So if that's true, would those be subject to subpoena from you?
Well, they do seem like they would be actual government documents. They were meeting with the president on the federal grounds. He's showing them to his colleagues. They seem to be federal records. And so that's why we believe in the Oversight Committee we have some jurisdiction here to go in and see if this is reality. And so but again, this is all the unknown. It's the very beginning of this, but that's also why we're looking at it.
How would you know, by the way, if you asked to see these memos, that he's producing all of them, all the relevant ones?
Well, I do believe they play within the bounds of the law when Congress requests something. But look, we have a storied and horrific background on this. You can go from everything from Fast and Furious to Benghazi investigation, email, IRS, anything pretty much over the last 8 years, which I've served in Congress, and I don't believe we ever got a full production out of the Congress, out of the Department of Justice, or the State Department. And that continues, by the way. One of my frustrations, with all due respect to the Trump administration, is they have not loosened up the documents that we have been requesting for years. And yet they don't provide that. And I've got solutions on how to do that. And sometime I'll come on your show and talk about that. But it is absolutely wrong, and I have no way of necessarily verifying it 100%.
Well, talk about subverting democracy. I mean, any member of Congress, Maxine Waters, has more legitimacy than the FBI. She was elected. He was not. And in a democracy, that's got to count for a lot. And so how can they possibly deny your constitutionally legitimate request to turn over documents that fall under the purview of your committee.
But here's the fundamental problem. I can issue a subpoena unilaterally. It's part of my constitutional responsibility to provide that check and balance. And I'm one of the few people that can actually issue that subpoena. But that subpoena is only as strong as its ability to be enforced. And when I try to enforce those subpoenas, guess what? You have to go back to the Department of Justice in order to get to the courts. What has to happen, what should happen, is Congress should have an expedited way to get to the courts to enforce those subpoenas. Right now, you've seen, for instance, Judicial Watch, right? Tom Fitton has much more power using the Freedom of Information Act because he can get to the courts, and the courts can force them. The judicial branch, the Department of Justice is afraid of a court. They're not afraid of Congress. And we don't use our power over purse. We don't beat it over their head, and we don't enforce it. And so it's somewhat feckless, and it's very frustrating as somebody who's the chairman of the Oversight Committee. We can't enforce these subpoenas.
It's absolutely infuriating. When we talk about subverting democracy and the intent of the founders, that's completely over the top. So do you think that the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel to look into this Russia question, whatever that question is, will stop the acceleration we've seen in the last week, talk of impeachment, of removing Trump somehow from office? Just, how would it not?
No, that isn't going to slow them down. Now they're just going to change their talking points. The Democrats, by the way, I love their newfound commitment to openness, transparency, and accountability. I mean, where did that come from? All of a sudden, come January 20th, they were all for it. But they're just going to change their talking points and say this administration is in chaos, and by the way, it's under investigation itself. It had to have a special counsel. You'll hear them. You can just already hear them in advance. It's an insatiable desire. They have no ideas, they have no policies, and so it's their scorched earth mentality and approach to just say, let's burn it to the ground, and that's their approach.
Do you think, and since you work there and you're with them in the gym or at lunch or whatever, do you think the Democratic members we see on television alleging a conspiracy involving Trump and Putin believe that there was actual collusion between the two?
If they do, where's the evidence? I'm happy to pursue it, but I don't have anybody actually presenting me any evidence. And now that we're this many months into it, come up with something. I mean, you last week or so at Maxine Waters saying that somehow I was suspect, that my ties to the Kremlin. Are you kidding me? I'm not over there.
But is it, I know there's no evidence. I don't even think we know that the Russians have John Podesta's emails. I've talked to people as to asking them, do you think that some of them are sincere?
I think some of them probably want to believe it, even absent evidence that they have. They got nothing.
Well, you'd never know that. From the press conferences they hold. Congressman Chavis, thanks a lot for joining.
Good to be here, Tucker.
So I got to be blunt with you. Kellyanne Conway was going to be sitting in that seat earlier tonight. We had, I think a lot of the descriptions in the press about what's going on at the White House are false, or they're animated by the hate the press has for Trump, which is totally real. But it does seem a little chaotic over there, I gotta be honest with you. Is it as chaotic as it seems?
I was over there today, I have to say, it was like, whenever you get like inside the bubble, it's so much more tranquil. People are just like doing their jobs, nobody's running around. I think if you take a step away from their daily jobs, this is a lot on the White House staff. And this is more breaking news around the administration than we've seen in, I don't know if we've ever seen it before. And I think that comes with a certain amount of stress that's on these folks. And they also have this overlay of the legal implications. So now every word, everything they say is going to be scrutinized from an investigatory standpoint. So they're right to be cautious. And I've been in those situations when there's a lot of investigations going on. You're trying to do your job. There's nothing more stressful in life besides having your health at stake than being investigated. It is the most stressful thing a human being can go.
I think that's got to be true. I've seen a lot living here for a long time. But I got to say, that would apply also to the president himself, who continues to tweet. Now, I understood the utility of the tweeting during the campaign, but I also noticed toward the end of the campaign, when there was a lot at stake, he slowed down the tweeting. He did on the extraneous public statements, and he won as a result. Is there a recognition in the White House that some of these tweets, not all, but some, are profoundly counterproductive in that they undercut the message of the White House, they confuse the hell out of people, and they scare supporters?
Well, for the staff, absolutely. The staff would like to see this way cut back. From President Trump's perspective, I think he feels like he kind of fights with himself on these questions, which is the tweeting overall helpful, or does sometimes he miss the mark? I think he knows sometimes he misses the mark. But I think the other thing about the president, which is interesting, is he's really his own cause's best spokesman. If you really see all this question about communications in the White House, it really comes back to this very basic question. Donald Trump wants to be his own voice, and he's really his best spokesman. And my advice to the people over in the White House is let him be that. Because when you try to manage that message and get in front of the president, he comes back around and gets back in front of the parade and says it the way he wants to say it. So why don't we let him say it the way he wants to say it from the beginning, and then everybody can follow on around and support it.
On a night like tonight, where something big has just happened, we're going to be, I think, live at 11 tonight, because we see this as a big news story.
It's a big story.
Right. That's exactly the moment when you want a kind of unified front. You don't want members of your staff calling over to news organizations and giving their point of view, and the press secretary saying one thing, and the president saying a third thing. That's not helpful, not legally or as a public relations matter. So why not pick one? Is the president going to be the spokesman, or is Sean Spicer? Hell yeah, they're going to be the spokesman.
I think this is a very fair point. So, my wife Mercy and I talked a lot about this. We're White House veterans.
Yes.
And we really do think the president is authentic. He did a great job with these sit-down interviews, one of them with Judge Janine from Fox News. We all learned a lot. In one of his other interviews, we learned that he wasn't a target of the FBI probe, which is really nice to have verified, because there's been so much misinformation. James Comey has leaked whenever it benefited him and planned up briefings and everything else. I'm kind of a mend it, don't end it kind of guy. It's like, you can do this any way you want. Mike McCurry is the one who decided to televise every one of these briefings. They don't have to be televised. You don't have to do it and that's going to come out every day. I have this radical idea. Why don't you send out to the podium the person that most fits that moment for the president? And by the way, sometimes it could be the president. There's past presidents, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, who would sometimes go into that briefing room and do the briefing themselves. I think they have to think through a way to be more creative in how they're getting this message.
Well, they seem very creative to me. In fact, so creative it's bewildering.
Well, they're creative.
It seems very creative.
You be creative in the air force?
No. Literally, they're communicating in ways that we haven't seen before. It's kind of exciting, and it's kind of cool in some ways, but it's also, as I said a minute ago, demonstrably counterproductive. Like, it hurts them time and again when the president comes out and says things for which he could be held legally accountable.
That's right.
On Twitter. And it raises the question, everyone who voted for him says this, where the heck is the guy who says to him, I'm sorry, that's not a good idea, don't do it? Where's that person?
Well, I don't know exactly how to answer that, because I think we're all kind of saying, hey, how does this work? I will tell you this, the one thing I know about Donald Trump is he's firmly in charge. He makes the decision at the end of the day. So he bears responsibility in many cases for the ultimate decision on these questions. But the real question, the other thing about Donald Trump that I've come to learn is that I think if he sees a plan and knows what the plan is, and he buys into the plan, you got a lot better chance that he's going to follow it. If he sees kind of no plan and people are meandering, he makes his own mind.
I get that. And look, I don't want to keep... there are a lot of channels to watch if you want to pick apart the Trump administration. I have frustrations, obviously, with the administration, but I feel like others cover that. Look, but here's one thing that really bothers me, is this a president who ran on actual ideas. Bringing the middle class back from its path of extinction was number one, because that's where they're going. It's shrinking in absolute size, they're living shorter lives, they're poor, they're dying of preventable things like ODs and diabetes. That's the whole point of the campaign. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing about it. Why don't I hear more about it?
The policy decisions, the Congressional Review Act that have gone through Congress, stopping 2 regulations for every regulation, all of these steps he has taken with his phone, his pen, and working with Republicans in Congress have already made a dramatic impact in the economy. The problem is at the White House is more missteps get all the attention.
He gave a speech at the Coast Guard Academy and started complaining about how mean people were. I wanted to hear him, and people are mean to him, I get it, they're always upset. But I wanted to hear him say, you know what? Nobody cares about the middle class except me, and here are the 4 things we're doing for you.
Look, he's better on offense. And what they have to, I think what you're saying is that there's a reason why he was elected. He's got a mandate from the voters. President Trump believes in offense, and I guess my strong push is get off your heels, get on your front foot, get back on offense, talk about the things that got you into the White House. There's no collusion between Team Trump and the Russians. There's nothing to any of this. So let's get back on offense and talk about what we make America great.
Because the middle class is still in trouble. I agree with you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tucker.
As you mentioned earlier, Counsel for President Kellyanne Conway is supposed to be here. She canceled about an hour before airtime. What is happening over there? We go to Chief White House Correspondent John Roberts for an answer. Hey, John.
What's happening, Tucker, is that every day they're getting hit with another huge news story. This one just the latest after what happened in the last 2 days. And the White House really has made a decision. I think the reason why Kellyanne Conway, after as a special prosecutor in the White House, just wants the president's just wants the president's statement to speak for itself. I am told a little bit of color as to how all of this went down. You know, the Department of Justice called over to Don McGahn, the White House counsel, about an hour before this went public, and it was all embargoed until 6 o'clock in the evening, to tell Don McGahn this is what was going to happen. McGahn then assembled the president's senior team, which included himself, the vice president, the chief of staff, Kellyanne Conway, Steve Bannon, Scott Spicer, and then myriad other senior aides, and they all went into the Oval Office together. And the president had just finished meeting with a couple of candidates to potentially replace James Comey as the FBI director. They basically said, I think it was McGahn who said it, this is what the DOJ has decided to do. And the president's response, I'm told, to that was fairly measured. Some people were expecting that he might hit the ceiling as a result of being told that a special prosecutor was going to look into the Russia investigation. As many people were confronted with the appointment of a special prosecutor, I think naturally would. But the president said, okay, that's the decision that's been made. Those are the cards that we've been dealt. Now let's get moving on a statement and then get moving on the other things that we need to get going on, particularly with this big foreign trip coming up, as well as the domestic agenda, now with hearings on Capitol Hill on the tax reform plan. The staff then went out and they put together a statement for the president. The president put his signature on it, and that's where we are now. But I'm told that while this could be a double-edged sword, Tucker, because you know what happened when Fitzpatrick was named as the special prosecutor during the Bush administration, when Ken Starr was named as an outside counter that could be worrisome. But they're also looking at this as an opportunity because they think, at least temporarily, it will quell all of the vitriol that's coming from Democrats on Capitol Hill. It will give them a chance to get a team that is somewhat divided and the morale has been downgraded a lot here at the White House back together again and get them focused on the president's agenda. So while it could be a drawback, they're also seeing it as an opportunity tonight.
The Clinton people are still mad about those investigations. I can tell you one thing, speculation, but it's true. Hillary Clinton never would have allowed this to happen to her if she would. John, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Doug.
Even before the announcement of the new special counsel, a bunch of Democrats were declaring it was time to talk impeachment for President Trump.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America.
I think this is going to put us a little bit further on our way to what I've been calling for so long, and that is impeachment. Thank you.
Of course, the left has been demanding Trump's impeachment since before he became the president. It was the week he announced they started calling for it. But now they think he really deserves it. Mr. Barr is a former Democratic congressional candidate and works at the New Leaders Council, progressive organization. She says it's time to impeach Trump. Mr. Barr joins us tonight. Chris, do you still think it's time? We're going to have to be appointed this special counsel?
Yeah, absolutely, which I welcome. I think it's a great move. I think it will help bring some clarity and give us a sense that we were actually going to get to the truth of what happened between Russia and our democracy and the president's campaign. But it doesn't change the things that the president has already done. And look, a couple things. You can absolutely think Dems have been hysterical from the beginning. You can think
I do think that.
Okay, that's fine. I knew that you did.
Yes.
You can think that this president has good intentions and still look at the facts here and say he is unfit for this office and is incapable of faithfully executing on
Those are fairly subjective judgments, so subjective, and you can make a case for them.
Sure.
But they're so subjective, we don't typically take away the office of an elected leader on the basis of things that subjective. That would be what I think is a coup, right? So don't we wait for the evidence of a crime, or is the Constitution puts it a high crime and misdemeanor, before we convict someone? Isn't that what justice is?
Well, let's put Russia in a separate category in terms of the investigation that's going on there. We already know that this president kept Michael Flynn in office even after he knew he had been compromised by the Russians. We already know that he tried to obstruct justice and put pressure on
compromised by the Russians in what way?
Well, in the way that Sally Yates talked about, that he was lying about the conversations that he'd had with the Russian ambassador.
Okay, but how was he compromised? I think the Justice Department, the FBI, I think Comey said this, looked into the substance of his conversations with Kislyak and decided it was, not such a big deal. It was the lying to Mike Pence that made his boss.
Well, it's the lying that compromised him because they could use that as blackmail. That's the whole idea there. So that's one piece. Another piece is this.
What were they going to blackmail him to do exactly?
Well, because he was lying, they could hold that over his head.
And get him to do
But
what?
moving forward from that one, I think this is...
I don't know. You're making the allegation. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
People throw these things out. He could be compromised if he's a Cold War spy or something.
Because they know that they've caught him in a lie. So that's something you can hold over their head and pressure them to do whatever. He was a top national security advisor. He had access to our most sensitive information. So that's an example where I don't think that you can say the president was faithfully
Do you think that Mike Flynn, whatever his faults, would have funneled national security information, American secrets, to the Russian government?
I have no idea. I've never
Do
met
you think he's
Mike
capable of
Flynn,
that?
But I think it's a bad situation.
He ran an intelligence agency for Barack Obama.
Lying about what he said and did with the Russians. So that's one example. Another example is what's come out reportedly about the president's conversations with the Russians in the Oval Office and the fact that.
But just to be clear, you think that because Mike Flynn lied to the vice president, Trump should be impeached?
I think that's one example that he kept him in office. Another example is requiring Jim Comey
Just so you know, anybody, if you catch someone lying in your office and you don't fire him immediately, though he did actually fire him.